Got us Nicole. We have Nicole Stinson here with a State Realty Group, and I always have to ask Jim, has my wife contacted you? And he always tells me, I can't tell you.
Disclaim.
Because I want him on my side, not on hers if she decided to dump mine. All right, we'll go into more positive topics now. Okay, we have Nicole Stinson, and what's really cool is she's with a State Realty Group, a top real estate professional, but we were just sharing a great event that her and Marcy James with Cross Country Mortgage, put together this great event, the third annual Chili Cook-Off. There's going to be thousands of people there at this event. It's a great event that helps support Lark Ranch, Help the Children, and Bridge to Home. And you need to check it out. It's Friday, March 20th at 5:30 p.m. Costs $10 going. Great for the whole family. Great events throughout the whole night. You got to go check it out. So kudos to you. Good job.
Thank you.
You're blowing this thing up for our local charities. Nicely done. All right, so in your spare time,
yes,
Nicole does real estate, and she does it very well. We've had the pleasure of working with Nicole on a few transactions, and a true professional, and we love working with you because of that, because there is a difference between just getting a real estate person or a lending company versus a true professional that you can rely on that's going to really guide you down the right path. So we want to get your opinions on what's going on in the market today, because I know things have changed so much since last year at this time.
yes.
Last year at this time, it was the dead zone. I mean, it was just starting to pick up maybe in spring, but the beginning of the year last year was slow. Everybody was sitting on their laurels, waiting to see what's going to happen in the real estate market after one of the most heated 2 years we had, price appreciation-wise. So everybody's kind of sat on their butts going, I'm going to see what's going to happen.
I think last year we skipped that frenzy altogether. I
I
mean,
agree.
yes, there was inventory and people listing their houses and buying, but I remember saying it's going to start like in this month and waiting and
I
waiting
hear
and
ya.
waiting, and it never happened.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
you
you
know,
promise all these people, oh, it's going to go like that, and it's like,
well,
that's
the
the first time I've
inventory
seen that.
came,
Yes.
but the buyers didn't.
Right.
And, part of that was I think we were, and if you go back to a couple of years ago on the shows, I was saying the next big wave of buyers is going to be those who lost their homes in the downturn. And, we were in that weird segment where it's like, well, how are we going to deal with it? Interest rates were high. FHA raised their mortgage insurance, so those who were planning on utilizing FHA as a tool to buy, they were kind of priced out. Price appreciation happened rapidly, so there was talk of another bubble. All of that subsided now. FHA's lowered their costs.
Right.
Everybody's got their 3-year seasoning under their belt. Interest rates are, again, at
Some of the lowest levels in
all-time
2
lows.
years, right?
Yeah. So I think we've kind of got the perfect storm, and I think all the bubble talk's gone away.
Are you guys seeing a lot of people that did a short sale 3 or 4 or 5 years ago wanting to buy again?
Yes, like
Okay.
like
Yeah.
crazy. It's really we're
Nice.
setting it up, and I mean we have a program now you can get in 2 years, but that's a large down payment and certain stipulations. But there's a lot of ways to get people into homes again, and now that they feel comfortable with market, of course they got bit.
Right.
It hurts when you go, I bought my home and now it's worth less than I bought it for. I don't know if I want to do that again. But now they're like, I miss home ownership. There's nothing like home ownership.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
have you ever handed the keys to a new home buyer and they went, wish I didn't do that?
Never. Thank God, never.
No, they're ecstatic.
Yes.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things that I'm seeing is, a lot of those that got hurt were, upper middle class. And so what we're seeing is that group come back into the market because now they're getting their teeth kicked in. They're making money again. They're
Right.
paying taxes, and they're going, God, I got to buy a house. The CPA is saying, you got to buy a house. And so ultimately they're almost peer pressured by this tax benefit that they have to buy a house in order to not throw it away on taxes. And who wants to pay more taxes?
I don't.
No doubt about it. Well, let's get your opinion on where the market is now, and a hot topic we're seeing is of trouble because we went from everybody worrying about inventory. We don't have enough inventory, therefore we're seeing a lot of multiple offers. Are you seeing a lot of multiple offers now?
Yes.
Okay.
Not as many as we did when the multiple offer frenzy happened, and it just depends
Well,
on the
not back in
property.
then.
I
It's
think
not as bad as when we had
No.
10, 12. We're getting
39. I
2s
had
and
one that had 39 offers at one
Yeah,
time
at
in the
least,
valley.
okay, that's a good point. I'm glad you clarified that because a lot of time, I don't want to scare any of you out there from going out and purchasing. All I'm letting you know is to take action because the market's heating up, which means
Absolutely.
prices are going to go up. You're also seeing an interesting dynamic regarding how to list your home. What price range should you list it at? And this is where you need a true professional to help you because there's ways to do it and ways not to do it. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
So give us your opinion on where we're at with that right now and how you're helping your clients out.
Well, it's always been where the homeowner thinks their house is worth more than it actually is. You know, they've been there a long time. They have an emotional connection to the house. They've put a lot of money into the house. They think it's perfect, but it may not be perfect to the buyer. And then that's one aspect of it. And then you have agents out there that are listing hungry. And so they'll go to the listing appointment and just do
Whatever the buyer wants.
to get the contract signed, because in the back of their mind, they know that there'll be a price reduction, and then they'll be able to sell it at that point. But I think sellers don't understand that the first week on the market is the most important time, because after that, your chances of getting that higher price it doesn't mean you won't get it at some point, but the chances decrease. And at the end, you'll probably end up with less than you would have at fair market value, just because the listing sits stale.
And that's okay. And that's why I hope you're listening. Again, we have Nicole Stinson with the State Realty Group sharing some insight of how she is successfully helping her sellers get more for their home. You think by just having a agent tell you what you want to hear is going to help you, but you'd be much better off working with a true professional like Nicole, saying, no, if you list it too high, then they're not going to look at your home. They're going to look at the other home and offer more on that, and there'll be a frenzy for that home, and they bump up the price versus yours. It just sits there.
Well, even that, you may get an offer, and then if someone else in your track puts a fair market value up, that person's still going to be looking, and now they think they're getting ripped off and they're paying too much. Guess what? They're not going to be a loyal person if their contingencies aren't released. They're going to be gone.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, and then, the other subject is that brings up the problem that we're going to start seeing. As properties rise, appraisals become an issue, because appraisers tend to want to use past performance in a neighborhood to determine what the value of a home is. And in an increasing market, that becomes a little bit difficult.
Well, good information as always. Nicole, how can they get a hold of you?
661-816-4234.
How about a website?
NicoleStinson.com.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that name, too. Her husband's one of the top plumbers in the entire town, and a good dude. Good old Kurt. We love Kurt. Kurt Stinson, Stinson Plumbing. So thank you for being on our show. Thank you for doing a great job with the chili cook-off.
Thank you.
Supplying us with great real estate information. Make sure you reach out to Nicole Stinson at NicoleStinson.com. Check out the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. You can find out more at DonandGino.com. Thank you for sharing this fine Saturday with us every Saturday, 9 a.m. We'll see you next week.